Hey YouTube, it's your boy B3 back with another kicking movie reaction review. Today we have a movie brought to you by TV Nihon. They did the subs for it, so if you want to check it out, go to TV Nihon. Ultraman Mebius and the Ultra Brothers. You guys know I am a huge Ultraman Mebius fan. He was like the 40th anniversary Ultra, and this is a 40th anniversary movie as well. It takes place before Mirai's team knows he is Ultraman, I believe. So yeah, it starts with 4 of the Ultra Brothers, Ultraman, Ultra 7, Ace, and Jack, fighting u-killersaurus on the moon. He's like this big choju, kind of super monster, with Yapul's consciousness inside of it. So he fights the Ultra Brothers, he's kicking their ass this whole time, and then eventually the Ultra Brothers use up all their energy to destroy most of his body and then seal his essence beneath the ocean on Earth, but it uses up so much of their energy they can't really transform anymore. So they're all stuck on Earth in their human forms. And then like 20 years later, Mirai has a bad feeling about that ocean and he goes to check it out. And he meets this oceanographer and they're doing stuff, trying to figure things out. He finds this kid that was traumatized by a kaiju, which I'll get to more in a second. And then there's this like council of aliens. It's Alien Guts, Alien Temperer, Alien Zerub, and Alien Knackle. All these different Saiyans. And they're like, oh, we're gonna awaken Yapul and beat Ultraman and stuff. And then there's this dog, and we find out the reason this kid doesn't like Guts and Ultraman anymore is that he used to want to fight alongside Ultraman and be in Guys. Did I say Guts? I meant Guys. I'm sorry. And before Mebius defeated Kelbeam attacked this kid and his dog while he was in the mountains, and the kid just kind of hid while his dog barked at Kelbeam and almost got killed. And that really traumatized the kid. Honestly, this kid should be in therapy, and like everyone in the movie is acting like being afraid of kaiju and traumatized by this experience is weird, and it's not real. Because like she tells him the kid is afraid of kaiju, and then Mirai is like, he's afraid of kaiju? Like, fuck yeah, he's afraid of kaiju, Mirai. God damn. Hope I'm pronouncing his name right. But, then Alien Temperer flies down to Earth, has a short little fight with Ultraman Mebius, and gets killed. He meant to kill Ultraman Mebius, but he was, quote, all talk, unquote. And then, while they were fighting, the rest of the aliens got Mebius's fighting data. Mirai tries to cheer that kid up. It doesn't work. And then he's visited by those 4 Ultra Brothers in their human forms, and they give him advice and try to explain to him why they love humanity so much, etc., etc. And then Alien Zerub comes down and kidnaps that oceanographer. And then Mirai tells that kid that he'll have Ultraman throw up a V sign for him after he beats his next enemy. And then the quote-unquote oceanographer comes up and gives Mirai some tea. It turns out to be poisoned with a paralytic. And it turns out to be Alien Zerub in disguise. In this movie, he really stepped up his disguise game, because he also becomes a fake Ultraman Mebius and attacks the city. And fake Ultraman Mebius looks a lot more convincing than fake Ultraman did in the original series. But you can still, like, see differences on him. Like, because there's this darkness around the eyes that isn't there on Mebius, and there's dark lines on him that aren't there on Mebius. But if you're a human looking at an Ultraman this tall from way down on ground level, and you're really far away, then it's just going to look like the regular Mebius to you. But he's destroying the city, framing Mebius and stuff. But then Mirai manages to transform, and the transformation cures him with the paralytic, fights Alien Zerub, reveals him as Alien Zerub, defeats him, and right before he throws a peace sign while his color timer is blinking, Guts and Knackle come down and defeat him. Actually, I think it's mostly just Guts. And they trap him in crystal, and then they trap the city in a dome, and which forces those 4 Ultra Brothers to transform, even though it means they might die because they really don't have any energy left. So they're fighting Guts and Knackle, and they end up defeating Guts and Knackle and freeing Ultraman Mebius, but that was Guts and Knackle's plan the whole time. They wanted the Ultra Brothers exposed so that they could drain all the Ultra Brothers' light energy and make it into minus energy to revive u-killersaurus. But for some reason, when they capture all the Ultra Brothers, they don't recapture Mebius. Instead, they, like, beat him into submission. Why didn't you capture Mebius and use his light energy as well? Then you wouldn't have had any threats to worry about. Stupid. But they're pushing that minus energy into the ocean to try to revive u-killersaurus. And then the kid runs back to save his dog, even though Alien Guts is attacking the city. So he kind of like faced his fears and stuff, blah, blah, blah. I still think he needs a therapist. And he kind of saves Mirai too. And then his like faith in Ultraman refills the color timer or something stupid. And Mebius is able to fight off Guts and Knuckle and free the Ultra Brothers. But then u-killersaurus reawakens. And Mebius killed Guts, but u-killersaurus killed Knuckle, which was totally predictable. And it turns out that the Yapul consciousness inside of u-killersaurus had been psychically manipulating these aliens to revive him the entire time. I believe the exact line that I think Ultra 7 said was, he came in contact with the invading aliens' minds and dominated their plans. Yeah, you dominate those Saiyans. Ugh. But, yeah, so they're fighting Yapul, who looks like the regular u-killersaurus from the beginning of the film, but then the rest of his new body comes up out of the ground, and he's like also has this giant crab thing that's the lower half of his body, so he's like a gigantic monster that's even bigger than he's like a kaiju to a kaiju. So he's fighting all these ultras, and then Zafi and Taro show up on the planet and refill everybody's color timers. Then they're fighting him, and they're about to kill him, but then it turns out the oceanographer is actually trapped in a gym inside u-killersaurus' head, so they can't fight him. So all 6 of the Ultra Brothers decide to fuse themselves with Mebius, and he becomes a new Ultraman called Mebius Infinity, who is actually really, really cool looking. And so Mebius Infinity fights u-killersaurus in a pretty kick-ass battle, and then just turns him to, like, ash. It was insane. And he's like a fusion Ultraman, like Jinga Victory and Saga, you know. And Legend as well. Legend. So, he saves the oceanographer, splits up back into the regular Ultras. Mirai says his goodbyes to everyone that's there. The 4 Ultramen decide to stay on the planet, and then Taro and Zafi leave, but Mirai heads back to Guy's headquarters. And that's the whole film. That's everything that happens. Congrats. You know what happens now. In case you don't have time to watch it or don't have access to it. But Ultraman Mebius and the Ultra Brothers, also known as Ultraman Mebius and Ultraman Brothers, it's good. It's pretty good. Some Ultraman movies to me can be kind of hit or miss, but this one is definitely a hit. Like, I really enjoyed it, and I hope you guys do too. Definitely check out all the Ultraman Mebius stuff you can, because he's easily one of my favorite Ultras. And my favorite side Ultra first appeared in his show, Hikari Hunter Knight Totsuki. So that's it. Thank you all once again for your support. Next time I'll either be doing an Ultraman Tiga movie or I'll be doing War of the Gargantuas or something like that. I don't know which one yet, but probably War of the Gargantuas. Bet on that. So that's it. Thank you all once again for your support, and I'll see you all later.